everyone, and welcome back to the Barely Bookish podcast. Today, we are going to be talking about the Chronicles of Narnia movie, and I am joined by Allison.
Hello again.
This movie is a lot, scarier than I remember it being.
In what way?
I don't know. I just feel like if I was a child watching this movie, I'd be terrified.
That's valid.
You know?
Yeah.
There's a lot of, war. And
I think I told you when we watched it, because I watched it right before we read the book, and when we watched Aslan getting essentially crucified, I gasped at one part. I was like, they're shaving him and beating him? I don't know why I was so appalled by it. I mean, obviously I know why I'm appalled, but I was just like, I can't believe kids watch this. But I guess,
literally.
I don't know. I guess some of it expresses how evil it is. Yeah,
it's all off-screen death, technically. They always cut away before it's brutal. But I've definitely never seen this movie the whole way through.
Or it's been just so long. It came out a long time ago. What is the year it came out? I mean, not that long, but it's pushing 15 years at least.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'll look it up for you. I'm always looking things up, aren't I? 2005.
Okay.
So that's pretty old. I mean, it's not old, but you would have been pretty young. And so was I. What was that?
We would have still been in Michigan, I think.
I would have been in... My brother would have been in 5th grade, so I would have been in 3rd grade. So above my reading level, first of all. December of 2005. Oh, so it was a little Christmas movie. Father Christmas is in it. Makes sense. Checks out.
Yeah, it works. It works.
Yes, I did notice that they cut away for all the, gory parts. And how violent it is. I mean, I'm actually glad they didn't show it. Because my fragile heart.
Literally. They did start, though. Let's just go chronological order. The beginning, actually seeing air raids, is not something I remembered.
I'm an overly emotional person when I watch movies anyway. I will cry. I think I cried watching The Croods in Spanish. This is just the way that I am. I don't know. I just like watching people cry or watching something. It doesn't even have to be that sad. It's just my physiological reaction. Bawled. Yeah, and the air raid part, I was like, oh my goodness. I mean, obviously you know what the air raids are, but when you see it and it's just right at the beginning, and I did not remember this movie at all, and tears came down my face, and Mike was like, get a grip. And I was like, can you imagine being that small and your house being going into a bomb shelter?
Yeah. They're even lucky that their own house had a bomb shelter. Most people had to go to a public one, didn't they?
Right, but I have the idea that they're at least middle class or upper middle class. So
yeah.
I mean, there's that. But
I mean, they can afford a home, so.
But this is a home in the mid 1900s, so little different of pricing. But they live in London, so
yeah.
I mean, I guess housing there is always pretty expensive, so. I don't know. I know the air raids. I did not remember them being in the story, so just to be smacked with that right off the bat and just him running, he ran back in for his dad's photo.
Why is that not already in the bomb shelter? That's my question.
Well, because you don't think you're going to actually have to use it, and you want to see it every day, so why would you hide it in the bomb shelter, right? I mean,
is that the only photo they have of their father?
Well, you have to remember the time period. I mean, you don't just get a bunch of reprints done.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I just feel like if I had a bomb shelter and I knew, someone in the family's off to war, we have a bomb shelter for this exact thing, I'd be putting valuables down there. I'd have a photo album and a couple prize things. I don't think I could ever get rid of. It all have to fit in a box because, you don't want to keep your entire house in this bomb shelter, but just some things just to have them ready. Like you
Yeah.
have food for your family, you have food for your pets, just like one box of like valuables
Like
that
keepsake
you feel like
stuff.
you need. Yeah.
Makes sense. Well, you're also someone that lives in a hurricane zone. So you're
Yeah, I
maybe
guess.
maybe you're a little bit more prepared to lose valuables. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I also, when we went through Irma, like, we signed off that we were going to lose all of our prized possessions. So I just had like a suitcase of stuff I cared about. And
True. I mean,
like,
I
I
guess you
feel
know how
like,
to prepare, and they tell you to fill up your hurricane bucket every year and all that kind of
mhm,
stuff. So, I mean, but this is London,
yeah,
and they're getting bombed.
yeah. I just feel like Photo could have made it to the bomb shelter. That was just a personal thing.
Agreed. Or maybe just like have a different photo of him in there. But
Yeah.
what did you think of how they addressed the parents? Like, because before they're not even mentioned, and they're just kind of like, oh, we got to get shipped off because the bombs. How did you like how
I
the
mean,
movie executed it?
I I just don't understand why the mom couldn't have gone with them. You
I'm
know?
sure there's some sort of historical explanation of people were shipping off their kids to. I mean, is the professor in
Yeah.
Scotland? Do we know if he's in Scotland or something? I can't
I
remember.
don't know if it ever says.
I mean, they're at least leaving the London city center. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of makes sense. You would want to ship your kids out, and mom probably still has to work because dad's in the war. Don't you think?
I mean, I guess it makes sense. They can't have every, because I know a lot of women at the time, I think, supported war efforts in different ways. Like they started working, things of that nature. So it makes sense
I mean, I'm guessing she had to go
that,
to work.
yeah,
She's got
but
four
like,
kids.
I know, facts. And they're probably not rich, because if they were rich, he wouldn't be at war.
Well, he may have volunteered. I mean, they're
Maybe.
they're rich enough to have a home with a bunker. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
imagining like upper middle class. I mean, they live in
Fair.
London. I guess London doesn't inherently mean that you have money, but a home in
I mean,
London
they're
with a
not in an
bunker.
apartment.
Right.
Yeah, there seem to be at least 2 floors to this home.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. They we do find out though that like she doesn't know the professor. I don't know why I thought that she did, but like no, he just volunteered to take kids, which is stranger still to me.
I mean, even with Ukraine, people were volunteering to take refugees. So this is
Oh no, I don't mean that it's strange and that he did that, but I mean it's strange that like his housekeeper has that much beef with these kids
yeah.
when he like
When
volunteered.
he's doing a very good deed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Oh,
was thinking that too. I mean, she's in his
yeah.
employment from, as I understand it, so she kind of has to
Yeah.
deal. But
Yeah, because I thought maybe if he like knew these kids and it was like a begrudging thing, then I'm like, okay, I guess that's why she's hates these kids. But no, like he's volunteering to be like the nicest person alive, and she's like, ew,
in my brain, he was like some distant relative. Like you know how in
same.
Jane Austen, it's always like in book world, there's always just like a random cousin that shows up and makes the
Yeah,
plot move forward. Like just a little literary device here.
yeah, that's what I was thinking too, to be honest. So Edmund off rip is just being like an absolute a hole to his mom. Um, like as soon as they get in the bomb shelter, everyone's like, why would you do that?
And
Like,
Peter's hard on him
why?
pretty fast. I actually think they do a very good job in the movie of
Hmm.
like the actor for Edmund, I don't know his name, but
Yeah.
he really makes you dislike him right off the bat, and you just see him being like that attitude is so apparent. And then Peter's reaction to it is so on point. Like I thought they did a really
Hmm.
good job.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I can get being annoyed, though, because there's very much a divide between Peter, Susan, and then Edmund, Lucy. Like, it's very much like, we are the older, you are the younger.
Right.
And they
It's
just, for some
important
reason,
in
like,
later books.
yeah. Okay. It's just wild to me how quickly they step into, like, the parenting role, because you had to figure, like, Peter probably had to pull a lot of that when his dad went off to war, but like Susan probably didn't because they had their mom at home.
But she could be working. She could be working for part of the day, so maybe Susan picks up the, you know, in the traditional gender norm, like the mothering slack, you know?
Yeah, maybe.
Considering the times.
Yeah, I started like crying in the first 5 minutes. And then watching all these little kids get on the train, Edmund looking at the soldiers, like kind of wanting to be one. And I'm like, no.
I got that vibe from Peter too.
That's what I meant. Peter, not Edmund.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I feel like I got that from Peter. But he's probably like just young enough that he can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're still very unclear on the ages here.
Truly. Edmund, like, almost losing everybody in that train station because he didn't want to hold hands. I was, like, going to lose my mind. Like, he's such a brat at the beginning of this.
They do such a good job, though, of making him so irritating.
Yeah. So it's just a whole train full of kids. Looks really sad. Everybody looks miserable. They basically get like these little tags on them saying where they're getting off.
Yeah, that was a sad touch. System. Yeah, it was a little.
It's sad touch.
It kind of made me sad. Though. Yes, agreed. Yeah. They definitely could just change it though.
Yeah. At least it keeps all of the siblings together though.
Yeah.
So, then these kids get off the train and this woman picks them up. First of all, she's late. They get off the train station. There's no one there. And they're just sitting there and they're like, did he know? Did the professor know he was picking us up? Like, he had to know, right? Like, that's terrifying.
Yeah, and she's pretty much rude right off the bat, too. And as if they didn't just, like, you know, they're literally refugees, so.
Literally. Like, they just are fully experiencing war and she can't even have, like, an ounce of kindness in her heart at all.
Yeah.
So then the housekeeper's like, don't bother the professor. Leave him alone. And we'll get along fine. And everyone's like, okay. And then she asks us, like, is that all you guys have? And they have, like, a suitcase each. Like, they're fleeing the country. They're not going to, like, pack up their entire lives.
She's rude.
Yeah. She's like, what are you, poor? All right, get in the carriage.
Maybe that's her showing empathy in, like, a really twisted way.
I don't know. I feel like it just was judgy.
Yeah, she gave that vibe.
Yeah. So, they're trying to, like, play games or whatever and do something. And then they decide to, like, play hide and seek for Lucy's benefit. That's how she gets in the Narnia, just like the book. My note was, though, that the heating bill for the wardrobe room must be crazy.
Oh my gosh. Well, do they even have heat in that room? I don't know. It's a pretty old building. It would have to be like retrofitted for it.
Yeah. All I can imagine is like every time you like bust in that room, you're like, wow, it's really cold in here. Holy crap. I'm just like,
especially if we don't close that wardrobe door, you know?
Yeah, it's important. We do find out the mom's name is Helen because they're like, are you a daughter of Eve? She goes, no, I'm a daughter of Helen.
Oh, there you really go. Cute. It did like, what you wanted.
Yes. All I wanted.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Did not remember that.
It's like this. It made me so happy. So this is where like it really gets like horror movie-esque. Like we already went through war, which was scary. And then they get like a Mr. Tumnus. Super creepy. Like if this was an adult movie, like it looked like he was gonna kidnap and like try and kill this child. Lock her up in the basement.
Have you seen the movie where he has like a split personality? I think it's called Split.
I have not seen that.
Well, you've probably seen the memes where it's like, that wasn't me, that was Patricia.
Yeah.
That's what it was like.
Mm-hmm.
He was giving the same kind of like crazy eyes.
Yeah. He plays a like crazy person really well.
Yeah. How did you like him as the choice for Mr. Tumnus?
he just does a good job all around. He's like a really good actor, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a good actor.
Like, I'm pleased.
I think he's pretty diverse too, for the most part.
All I could think though is, why is he only having a scarf? Why does he not put a sweater on?
I don't know, but it's that way in the book too, I think.
Yeah. But I feel like he says something about always being cold. I'm like, you could solve this problem.
Maybe fawns just don't normally wear shirts.
Maybe. I also like that he's the only, like, fawns are the only creatures for some reason that they call them by like the animal that they are part of, instead of like the actual mythological creature. Like, they call minotaurs minotaurs, they don't call them bulls, they call like centaurs centaurs.
Yeah.
Not horses, but like fawns, for some reason they didn't want to say satyr. Don't know why.
I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. And
Yeah.
he like refers to himself as a fawn often, I feel like.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone refers to him. I don't know if they thought that satyr would be too complicated for a kid as a main character, which is possible.
Yeah, but we're talking about minotaurs, so.
Yeah, but they're not like brought up very often.
True, not
You know
like
what
a
I mean?
main dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about classifications of fantasy creatures, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, he is a satyr. That's exactly what a satyr looks like. So,
Come on, Mr. Tumnus.
I don't know. But
he gives a creepy vibe though, just kidnapping real quick.
Big creepy. Yeah.
Yeah, that part too, I was kind of like, dang, this is creepy. I kind of forgot about it when we were watching it, and then Mike was like, oh yeah, he's gonna kidnap her, I forgot. I was like, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I had watched it right before the book.
Mm-hmm. And then when Edmund ends up in the library later, like when he not ends up in the library, when he ends up going into the wardrobe room chasing Lucy down later to get into the wardrobe, then he's like, Lucy, where are you? As if there is not only one option in this giant room with only the wardrobe. Like, where else would she be?
Well, aren't they doing they're playing hide and seek, and isn't he just being a brat?
Yeah. No. The second time is
the second time. Her. My mistake.
Yeah. No, you're fine. After, in the middle of the night, he like follows her in there, and then he's like, hope you're not afraid of the dark, and closes the door like a dirtbag.
He's the only thing I can think of is that he's trying to get her in trouble by shouting that out.
I don't know.
He's just the worst.
Just the worst. So then Edmund gets in there, fully almost gets slaughtered, knife to the throat immediately.
She's the White Witch is so funny though.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I like her.
I mean, I love that actress, but
yeah,
she does such a good job of being like, "Oh, Edmund, my sweet."
Yeah.
And then when she flips her switch later, it's hilarious.
I love that, like, she, like, barely has it under control, like, this whole facade. She's like, Edmund, you sweet, sweet boy. And then she's like, oh my God. Like, you can see, like, behind her eyes that she's like, I am losing it.
Yeah. I like that actress a lot, too.
Yeah. Every time I see that actress, I'm, like, amazed how, like, ethereal they look.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's wild to me.
Yeah.
Truly.
Very diverse.
Yeah. I don't really know what else she's been in. But, like, I always feel like
she's in Doctor Strange.
Which one?
You're
right. Nope, yeah. I remember. Yeah.
She's the main
mm-hmm.
whatchamacallit, you know, witch wizard thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember seeing her in, like, another role where she was an angel, I think.
Let's look her up. We got time.
Yeah.
I
don't remember. We got time. What else are we doing? Oh, Constantine is the movie I was thinking of.
Wow.
Weirdly, came out the exact same year. Really?
Yeah,
doing
she
amazing.
she looks good.
Yeah, Constantine was the movie I was thinking of. I don't know why I've seen that movie. Like, I don't remember anything else about that movie. The most recent Chronicles of Narnia came out in 2010. Wild.
I didn't even know there was a third one until we were watching
I didn't
these a
either.
couple weeks ago, and it was in the little cluster on Disney Plus, and I was like, "What?" I never even heard of that title, but I did
Mm-hmm.
not read the books until now, and I just finished the second one. I'm
Mm.
reading in publication order. I think I've mentioned, but so I read Prince
Yeah.
Caspian, and then so technically Voyage of the Dawn Treader is next in publication order, and that's the third movie. So Disney also follows publication order. So,
So it's canon.
oh, the ancient one is what she is in Doctor Strange.
They get back after, Edmund has his entire debacle. Lucy wakes everybody up in the middle of the night. Like, I like that they just sped all this beginning part along. Wakes everybody up in the middle of the night. Everybody's a dick about it. Instead of being hunted, though, for tours, they change it to they broke a window.
I kind of liked that
Which is
better.
fun.
It seemed a little bit more realistic that they would be running away.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, like, there's a war going on. I feel like not that many people are traveling, but maybe that's just me. So,
Depending on where this is located, for some reason I feel like in my brain it's Scotland. I don't know.
I don't know. I thought it was just like the country of London.
Yeah, so I probably have
Of,
it wrong.
like, England, I mean. I don't know. I mean, like, how close is too close for air raids? You know what I mean?
I don't know. I don't know the range of it. I mean, I know that London was hit, but I don't know how far out.
Yeah. Like, I feel like if I was a parent, I would send my kids to, like, the farthest point I could get them.
Yeah, but you don't want them so far. I don't know.
I mean, I want them alive, like.
True, you want them out of harm's way, but a lot of Europe is not safe at this point, so.
Yeah. I mean, what are people gonna do in Scotland? I feel like there's not much going on over there. No one seems to have beef with Scotland except England. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But I like that they were running away for like breaking something that just seemed a little bit more realistic to me in my head because they're children.
Yeah. So then everybody ends up in Narnia. My favorite line though when they run into Mr. Beaver is, "I ain't gonna smell it if that's what you want."
Oh yeah, because he's like here or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Um so I love that, like, they're listening to the story of Aslan. Everyone says they want to go home, and then they turn around, Edmund's gone. And they're like, crap. However, I know that, like, it makes more sense for them to follow Edmund all the way to the steps of the Queen's castle. But I didn't really love that, because it messes the timeline up a little bit. Because they can't really get back home fast enough before Edmund can send out wolves, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think it makes more sense than everybody just believing Mr. Beaver when he's like, your brother turned y'all in. Okay, let's go.
I mean, I appreciate that this does follow the book, I think, pretty closely. So
Yeah.
I kind of like that it's just as quick. At least for this
Yeah.
movie, I feel like the Prince Caspian kind of adds a lot. It felt like it added a lot anyway. Maybe not.
I don't know. I don't think I've ever.
I know that's not the movie we're
it.
talking about, but like in comparison, I feel like this one is pretty to the point, which I kind of appreciated.
Fair. It was still like a 2.5 hour movie. It's pretty long.
I know. I was surprised by that too.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the other one's long too, and we were surprised by that when we watched it. And I was like, "Geez, we had that much to say. These are like 100-page books,
Literally
200-page, I think."
Yeah. So, I do think it's funny whenever they make a husky play a wolf because the size difference is hilarious to me because huskies are way smaller than wolves are. So like I
I didn't
watched
even
Edmund.
notice that.
Yeah,
But it's Narnia, so
I
the
think
rules
it's
are different, man. You can't.
apparently. Also, I think it's like difficult to have like a wolf just like around children, trained or not. Like I just feel like it's cheaper probably to have a trained
Is it
Siberian
not?
husky.
Is it not CGI?
I mean there's CGI parts for sure, but like when the quote wolf is just walking around, I don't think that's CGI. I think that's just like a Siberian husky just chilling. Like a lot of it's CGI when it talks and stuff like that for sure.
I'm looking it up.
Okay.
They were mostly real animals with one or two CGI ones added. They had to have their tails be digitally removed and re-added. Their tails kept wagging when they were filming, so they had to they had to CGI the tails. That's hilarious.
That's so funny.
Oh, that's funny. You know, I didn't even notice that. That is so funny.
I always notice that in movies just because like I know they look similar, but if you've never actually seen how big a wolf is, you wouldn't notice. But like wolves are so drastically bigger than Siberian huskies are.
True, and in respect to the size of the kids, it could have been cool if they like made it look larger, but
Yeah.
I mean, I still think most of the visual work in this movie is pretty good. Like it's what I picture in my head.
It's well done.
But maybe because of the order I did things. But I feel like everyone kind of looks the way I think they're supposed to, and
yeah,
I don't know, the land, like the actual land, looks the way I pictured when they described it in the books. So I don't know. So I guess I didn't even notice that. I was just like, wow, this is cool.
Yeah, no, everything visually is pretty well done. It's just that's one of those things I always notice because it's a lot easier to get a husky than it is to get a trained wolf. So
fair. That's a fair thing.
Like, especially when you have multiple of them, I feel like ethically you start running into some issues.
Right, and they are children, so
yeah. We have Edmund Foley sitting on the witch's throne. Bad plan.
He's the biggest fool. So funny.
Literally an idiot. Also, when the wolves chased them back to the beaver's house, and then there was an escape hatch, and Mr. Beaver's like, "Yeah, this goes to my buddy's house," and Mrs. Beaver's like, "I thought this went to your mother's." Good.
I did not hear that. That's funny. Oh my gosh.
I was listening to it with headphones on though, so I was like very.
That's probably the way to
very into it.
Probably so immersive when you do that.
Yeah.
Also,
let's talk about headphones too.
Let's talk about the film score for Narnia. So good. So good. It's been on my little. I'm a big film score fan, and it's been on my playlist for years. I think I've had that playlist since like sophomore year of college. So, not that I'm that old, but that's a while.
Yeah, I feel that. No, everything's really well done in this, to be honest.
It's so pleasant.
Also, I noticed that the fox was voiced by Prince Charming from Shrek, and I know that's something you didn't notice, but I was like, oh, that's so funny that you brought up Shrek, thinking that that's what you noticed, and that's why you were thinking about Shrek.
Yeah, dude. That is funny. When you told me that, when you were watching the movie, I told Mike, and he was like, oh my goodness, he is! And I was like, gosh.
Immediately, as soon as you spoke, I was like, Prince Charming.
Yeah. Too bad he doesn't say mummy.
His voice is so ingrained in my childhood that I can pick him out anytime he speaks, I feel like.
What a film.
What a film. So good.
Masterpiece.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I wish I picked that up.
Yeah. Every time I even like looked at the fox, I just thought of Prince Charming. I don't know.
Did you? But the professor, did you place him?
No.
Professor Slughorn.
Man. man.
He had that voice like he's got such a distinct voice, like the ho, you know how he talks like that? That's
yeah.
Mike and I both looked at each other, we're like, oh, Slughorn. But he really doesn't look like him that much in that one.
No, he doesn't. I'm also guessing it was probably like the fact that we didn't get much time with the professor at all.
No, but we do get the conversation on logic.
Yeah. But we don't get much time with him in the book, so it's not like a big difference, really.
Right. I kind of wish Disney did all the movies. Maybe they get progressively worse. I haven't seen all of them because I didn't watch Voyage of the Dawn Treader. Yeah. I'm going to try to read that book before I watch it this time.
Yeah, it looks like they came out like... I think the first one came out in 2005, and then I think the last one came out in 2010.
I wonder if people just lost interest. I'm sure they took so long to film and do all the things. There are just so many things that they had to add in. Yeah. I mean, now I think film production is probably a little different, even from, I mean, I'm assuming it's changed in the last 15 years. 13 years, I suppose. Yeah. That's 2010. So, I don't know. I wonder if people just it just lost its steam. But I kind of wish they did all of them because it's really kind of a cute series.
Yeah. I don't know if, like, there is even that big of a fan base for Narnia.
I remember it being kind of big when it came out. Like, when the first one came out, I remember that being kind of a big deal for some reason. But maybe because my mom had read them to my brother, and so, like, we knew about it. It was on our radar kind of thing. But
yeah.
I feel like I remember watching Disney Channel, and they would give you, like, the behind the scenes of filming.
Yeah.
That was always kind of cool. I feel like they did that one. Where is this filmed, by the way? It's got to be New Zealand. It's always New Zealand.
It's always New Zealand. I have no idea, but it's always New Zealand.
I would put money on that. Let's see. I mean, I won't, but New Zealand, 100%. That's what it was. New Zealand.
Nice. It's always New Zealand. Like,
it's just so otherworldly. I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like I need to go to New Zealand.
Well, in the watercolor, I feel like that's what totally gave it away for me. Like, when it's that, like, icy teal blue. Mm-hmm. Like,
yeah.
New Zealand. Lord of the Rings is just down the road filming. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. The homies still.
Actually, when did Lord of the Rings, when did those movies come out?
I don't know. I feel like 2005 is too late, but I don't know.
Yeah, they came out a lot.
I feel like they came out in the
2003.
90s. Oh.
For Return of the King, which is the last one. So it would have been done filming, potentially. When did the Hobbit came out much later. Just had a total brain fart for a second. Interesting. So right after Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. Also, the moment when they thought the White Queen was chasing the group, but it was Santa, that was a pretty good moment.
And then he's like,
listen, I had the sleigh and the reindeer first. That was my thing. She stole it.
And he isn't so, like, commercialized.
Horribly sexist.
Father Christmas, too. Yeah, and horribly sexist. They did cut some of those weird things that they said. He did say something, though, I feel like, about, I hope you don't go to war kind of thing. I feel like he said something.
Yeah, he said that, like,
or to not
he said to the two. Yeah. He basically said, like, war's ugly. But instead of saying, like, war's ugly when it's women.
I can't wait for you to read the other ones, because there's a few things that, even just in the next book, where I was like, Rachel's going to hate that.
Yep.
I'm a
menace.
Some things.
It's fine.
And, like, the first page of the Voyage of the Dawn Treader, they call someone, like, he describes someone as, like, obnoxiously fat or something, or, like, a Norman. I was like, whoa!
Jesus Christ.
I mean, it's a descriptor, but I was like, you just don't see that now. I don't know. It's just funny. I was like, I forgot how they say it, but it kind of made me chuckle. I'm like, Rachel's going to be so annoyed.
Yep. Listen, I don't ever let it slide for the times, you know?
You don't.
No. So, Oh, I did like Mrs. Beaver fixing her fur when they were walking to the stone table. I thought that was cute.
Oh, and then he was like, "You look fine, darling." That part.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh,
And he's like,
so cute."
yeah. He's like, "You look lovely." I'm like, "Aw."
How many times do you think in this podcast I said cute?
Not enough.
Not enough.
Not
Cute,
enough.
cute, and obviously. So, if I could describe this whole book movie experience in 2 words, it'd be obviously cute.
There we go.
Obviously. Yeah, that was so sweet. I thought that was just like the
so
nice little moment. I don't think that's in the book. I don't remember that being in the book.
It's not, but I like it.
Yeah, I like that.
Also, I did kind of enjoy Aslan making Peter kill the wolf while they were all there. Because, like, I feel like that was a moment that needed to happen for the fact that, like, they're literally going to war. And this is, like, in a controlled environment.
So he could, what did they say in the book? So he could earn his spurs or something?
Something though.
Yeah. What do we think about Liam Neeson?
It's a wild choice. A very wild choice, but I'm not mad about it.
I'm not mad about it, but I do kind of wish that he had an English accent. Like, I feel like that, for some reason, legitimizes it for me. I don't know why. I'm going to stick with my, I know I told you yesterday, but I would stick with my vote for Tom Hiddleston. I just feel like he would be like a very calming voice, but I feel like it needs to be like a little bit more grisly, but I like the idea of it being not, I don't know. So that's my 2 cents.
I don't know if Tom Hiddleston was popular enough in 2005.
No, I don't think so. I'm just, dreamscaping here, and
fair.
That would be a good choice. Trying to think of someone else.
Liam Neeson is just such a wild choice. I feel like I always see him in action movies, so for him to be playing essentially Lion God, it's strange.
What is his nationality? Is he American?
I think he's American. I think so.
In Love Actually, he sounds like Scottish or Irish. Hold on, I'm gonna check myself. Oh no, he's from the UK. I stand corrected.
Oh, he was. So we're just dirtbags.
Yeah, he was born in. I'm gonna say it wrong. Ballymena, in the UK. I don't know. Oh, it's in Northern Ireland. So.
Oh, so he's Irish.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not completely incorrect, but I learned something today. Anyway.
There we go.
But he doesn't sound like that. He sounds like he has an American English accent in that movie.
Yeah, maybe he's just like, at that point, I feel like they always make him put on an English accent. So I know sometimes when people have to do accents for too long that aren't their original one, they just kind of get stuck with it.
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like he flips a switch often, so.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either. So they meet Aslan at the stone table.
Meet Aslan. I have a note in here that Edmund specifically is going to need so much therapy. Because he gets like tied to a tree.
They all do.
They really do. I hope like Narnia has good therapists.
When the witch turns on him, though, when he sees her, she's like, she straight up smacks him.
Yeah. She smacks him like a couple times. I'm like, girl, chill.
I know, but I was like, she just flipped a switch. I don't know. It was just like It's not funny for her to beat a child. I want to make that very clear. But
yeah,
just the switch flipping was just so funny to me.
Yeah. No, I love it. I have a note in here that I really like the floor table that everybody eats at later.
Oh my gosh, I thought the same thing.
Like, I was obsessed with it.
So I'm one of those people that just like loves watching a movie for set design. I just love it, and that was part of the reason we watched Narnia a couple weeks ago. I'm like, I bet it has really good set design.
Yeah,
like the professor's house is so cute. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, yes. I was obsessed with Mr. Tumnus's house. I would happily own that.
I feel like you have very much that like quintessential dark academia vibe.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, it's I feel like I call it like quirky traditionalism.
That's fair.
So I don't really know how else. Yeah, like if a medieval house could just be pumped full of electricity, yeah, that's where I want to live.
I feel like you could live in like any of the Hogwarts common rooms.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be happy.
There you go. You got your Harry Potter reference. Actually, I already said Slughorn.
It's fine.
I am who I am.
It works. Another note I had is when they all are together again, practicing and getting ready. I thought it was really funny that Lucy throws this dagger that is very obviously not a throwing dagger. Like they could have just given her
teeny dagger that was so cute.
Yeah, but I'm like, they could have just given her a throwing dagger if they wanted her to be able to throw it. I don't know.
These are things I don't catch. Funny. I don't know anything about knives. I feel like Mike has a bunch of knives. Like he used to have like all those little trick knives. Mm-hmm. And they're nice for opening boxes. I don't know.
Yeah, like with throwing daggers, they need to be like evenly weighted, really lightweight. And like hers got like this bulky handle that's just not functional.
Look, man, this is from Santa. So
yeah, fair enough, I guess.
Everything that we know about daggers or throwing knives has gone up the window.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Magic, so don't worry about it. I kind of forgot she got that, actually.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting a lot of details.
At least they actually used it. It's fine. I also really liked that the horse's name was Philip. That made me laugh.
So cute. Cute.
I've never seen the scene of Aslan being murdered. I don't know if it was cut for TV, if I've never seen this all the way through. What happened?
Dude, I told you. I gasped. Audibly gasped. Yeah. And I knew, well, I hadn't seen it in a long time. I know that he essentially gets crucified, but I mean, that's not the right term, but he gets murdered. And I know, like, he gets shaved, like the crown of thorns. Like, I get the idea, and I know they panned away from it, but then, I don't know why, but shaving him just felt so, I don't know. Like, obviously they were, like, not obviously, oh my goodness. They beat him.
They're trying to humiliate him.
Yeah, they beat him, and, like, I don't know, that was more to be expected. But then she shaves him, and then she wears it later.
I did not realize that.
On the battlefield, she's wearing his mane. And I was like, oh my gosh!
I did not realize that.
You didn't? Oh my gosh. That's what I'm saying. I gasped when it happened, and then when it came up later, I may have cried. I don't know. I cry a lot in movies. Like I said, it doesn't have to be quite even that sad. I'll just cry.
I did not put that together at all.
Yeah, I was like, oh my goodness, this is terrible. That's not in the book. And I thought that was like kind of an interesting add-in to just kind of make you hate her a little bit more. I thought it was a powerful visual, but yeah, I didn't remember, like I knew it happened, but I did not really remember that scene in the way that it happened. But I'm kind of glad that they panned away because I'm like, that would be a lot for kids to watch them like aggressively shave an animal. And I don't know. It's sad.
Oh, and then the witch's eyes turn all black in that moment. I'm like, oh.
Some dark magic stuff. Some old magic.
Yep.
Satan.
Oh, and then I just realized in this moment, like not in this moment, but like when I was watching it, during that moment, that like Lucy immediately goes for her healing potion, and then I realized Book Lucy did not even consider trying to heal Aslan. She didn't even think about it.
Oh yeah, you're right. But I feel like
maybe kind of
they do it just for the sake of people being like, oh, why don't you just do that? But he's already dead, so it's not gonna work. Clearly.
So when they go to war, Peter riding out front, wild choice for a child.
He's
also
funny. I don't know.
Yeah. The two girls fall asleep on Aslan's dead body. That's a choice.
They're sad, dude.
They are sad, but it's still a choice.
He is representing Jesus, and they love him. What is wrong with you? You get so mad that they hold him. He just died.
I don't mind the holding.
He's not like rotting
holding
on the earth already. I mean, he probably is starting to, but
yeah.
I mean, the decomposition starts ASAP, right? But
fair enough. It always shocks me how people are able to like the knee-jerk reaction to fall asleep always shocks me. I don't know. Like it shocks me that they were able to sleep. You know what I mean?
Well, I think that they're like crying their eyes out, right? So they probably just at some point collapse in exhaustion. I think it's more like that. If I had to guess.
Just wild to me, personally. I don't know.
I'm going to give him a pass considering he is the representation of Jesus in Narnia.
Fair enough. So I do really like that Peter is just trying to get Edmund to get their sisters home. I thought that was really sweet that kept happening.
He's growing up. Honestly, I would say Peter is still on a power trip and Edmund has already kind of came around a little bit.
Fair.
Little bit.
Like, a little bit. He definitely is, but it's better, I feel like.
Yeah.
Than it used to be, at least. Like, he's at least kind of listening to everyone else.
Right. And Aslan already told him to move on at that point. Or to let it go.
So, at least we finally get to see Susan use her bow in the movie, so that's good.
Right. Yeah, when you said that in the book, I was like, oh my goodness, you're right. She actually didn't.
Yeah, no, she never uses it. And honestly, Lucy never uses the dagger either.
Right.
I will note that when they become royalty, Lucy having a little stepping stool that we're supposed to like not notice is one of my favorite touches.
Oh my goodness, I didn't notice that either.
Yeah, like they pan away from when everyone's getting in their chair, trying to make it all uniform, but she has to like get on this stepping stool and sit down at the same time as everybody else. So she has like her foot back and like lowers herself into it. I also thought the age up was a bit rough. Like you can definitely tell who everybody is, but like they don't look related anymore. Like when they become adults. Like everybody has very different facial structures.
The adult choices were weird.
Like, and also they still made Lucy so much younger than Edmund when there's only like a couple years difference between them. Like, they made Lucy look like she was like in her early 20s, and then like Peter looked like he was like in his 40s.
Yeah, Peter looked really old.
Yeah, so it was like, do you think that like there's still a great distance like between Peter and Lucy? There's probably only like a max 10-year difference, but realistically it's probably like 7-ish year difference.
I did appreciate though that I don't feel like they did the old medieval language.
Yeah, thank God. I hated that.
In the book I was like, is this really necessary? I think if they look old I would kind of get the point.
Yeah. I will still say though that the idea of being an adult and then being shoved back into my childhood body.
Yeah, I think that would suck.
Yeah, that's terrifying to
I thought
me.
the same
I don't
thing.
know. Like, I guess I get it in the stance of, you know, then they're able to, like, not enough time has passed so that they can still, like, see their mom and, like, all that kind of stuff.
But imagine being an adult and being treated like a child.
I couldn't. Mm-mm.
They do talk about it in the second one.
Okay.
At least in the book.
Imagine you're like used to going home. Like they were talking about marrying off like Lucy and Susan. Like imagine you're married off. You have a couple kids of your own. You're used to going out for beers with your boys. And then suddenly you're shoved back into your 10-year-old body.
Well, just like the life experiences you would have at that point too.
Yeah.
Like you said, like drinking and like maybe they've been married. Maybe they've already had their first kiss. Oh, and then they have to go back to being like 10. That is so weird. That is so weird.
I couldn't imagine just being like a grown adult and then being forced to go back into 5th grade.
Yeah, that would be so crazy. Therapy, dude.
Hmm.
Therapy.
Yeah. They like all those kids would end up in like a psych ward.
Yeah, because who are they going to talk to about it besides each other?
Yeah.
Maybe the
And
professor.
one of them's maybe, but like one of them's gonna go through a weird phase where they like say that it never happened and they all like had this dream together.
We shall see. I'm not far enough to even give you an idea. But yeah, I was kind of thinking that too. It kind of comes up in Prince Caspian a little bit, and like having to go back to being a kid. And I think they do say something like once in the movie. But like just imagine having gone through some sort of education system, whatever they did, and then going, like you said, going back to like 5th grade. Like that blows my mind.
You'd have to go through puberty twice.
Does that mean that they would like, I mean, this is a Disney movie, but they're going to have to like lose their virginity more than once?
I don't know. This is just awful.
I don't know if it counts like that though. I
don't know. Oh, I'd be so mad. And then, like, does every time they go back to Narnia, are they like in their adult bodies, or do they restart as a child again?
Oh, that they go back as a child.
No, I'd be so mad.
But I'm not gonna give too much away, but I'll just say like they go back to Narnia. I think you can assume by the second one, and they in the book it's like they're still their age, but then they feel themselves like getting stronger already. Like time just moves differently, so like they feel like they're aging when they're there.
Okay.
Like they talk about a hike being difficult or something, and then it was like, but we could keep up. It was like our strength was coming back, and so I think it'll probably be addressed a little bit more clearly later on. But
I'd be like just trying to bring the people I care to Narnia and call it. Like I'd be like, yeah, we're not gonna go. I'm not going back. I'm not going back.
The thing that also blows my mind is, sorry. The thing that also blows my mind is that they, whenever they come back, even if they've been away for like a couple weeks, someone you know is probably like dead.
Yeah.
Like even by the end of the book, at least, Mr. Tumnus is old.
Yeah.
Like, they'll probably never see him again.
So that's just no. And then like, do people try and rule in their stead while they're gone?
You'll see.
Okay.
But
I'd be pissed. You're constantly having to take back your kingdom. You just need to like put someone in place, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, you gotta read the book too. Publication order.
Truly.
Read Prince Caspian. Yeah, dude. I was thinking about that. That whole time situation is kind of mind-boggling.
Yeah.
That would be rough. So overall, your thoughts?
I liked it more than I thought I would. It's just wild that it's a kids movie, to be honest.
That's what I was trying to tell you before. Like, kind of, it was a little bit more dark than I was expecting. I mean, it's got some darkness in it, of course, and in the story, but watching Aslan get murdered is
a lot.
Even though you don't really see it. It's very, it's impactful. Mm-hmm. Anything you would change?
Definitely. I don't think so, actually. I feel like Santa's a bit unnecessary, but it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I kind of felt that way too, but I think they could have received those gifts in a different way. Like, we talked about that in the book. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. I think the movie's really well done. I'm not mad about any of the changes, really.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they made some good choices when they did change things.
Definitely curious about movie 2, for sure.
You're going to have to read book 2. They're all super short. I think that we do need to add just in here. I thought they were going to be so long. I may have already said this.
I thought so too.
I thought they were going to be so long. I thought they were these like massive chapter books. And they are so easy to read.
Yeah.
So quick.
They really are. But
sweet.
That's all we have for today.
It has been a blast. Yeah. It's been a ride.
Truly. Thank you, Allison, so much for joining, and we will see you all in the next episode.
Thanks for having me.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.